Southeast governors name second Niger bridge over President Muhammadu Buhari. Shonkutu's trial adjourns till Wednesday as magistrates absent in court. Presidential election petition tribunal to begin hearing on May the 30th as court merges PDP, Labour Party, APM petitions. And also coming up on Politics HQ, South Africa could become a failed state, says ANC's Fikile Mbalula. The Senegal opposition leader boycotts a rape trial again. Tonight on Politics HQ, we will be discussing the newly commissioned Dangote Refinery, its prospects and opportunities for Nigeria's economy, as well as the situation of the country's oil and gas industry, as President Muhammadu Buhari, who is the Minister of Petroleum Resources, signs out of office in less than a week. My guest tonight are Desmond Agboifo, a Senior Advisor and Director at Desyton Energy, who joins us from the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. And also joining me is Dr. Dayo Kayode, a political analyst who joins from Lagos, Nigeria. Stay with us, Politics HQ. We'll be right back. After a long wait, the highly publicized Dangote refineries was finally opened on Monday. In the event, this saw the presence of some of Nigeria's biggest politicians and businessmen. The refinery is said to be worth $20 billion, has a capacity of 650,000 barrels a day. It is also slated to produce 53 million litres of gasoline, 4 million litres of diesel, and 2 million litres of aviation jet A1 fuel daily. The refinery has been described as the world's largest single-train refinery with a strong government backing. It's also expected to solve some of Nigeria's greatest oil problems. The Nigerian government is also looking to the refinery to reduce the massive oil import bill, which will in turn help the economy. Despite its great advantages and the many strengths that have been vaunted, questions persist about the operation of the refinery. Now, joining me tonight on Politics HQ for this important discussion is Desmond Agboifo, Senior Advisor and Director at Desyton Energy, joins from Abuja, and also Dr. Dayo Kayode, political analyst, joining from Lagos, Nigeria. I would like to begin with you, Dr. Kayode. President Muhammadu Buhari, while commissioning the refinery, described it as a game changer for Nigeria. Can you explain the significance of the Dangote refinery for Nigeria's petroleum industry and its potential impact on the country's economy as a whole? How much of a game changer is this refinery?
Thank you, my brother, for having me this evening. Let me first of all congratulate the president of Dangote Group for the yeoman's job which he has done. Because here is the whole country that cannot even manage their own refineries, and an individual is coming up with such a gigantic project. But having said that, despite the yeoman's job he has done, there are some factors that are surrounding that refinery that is giving me some kind of sleepless nights on how it will, number one, affect our economy, and number two, address the social need. Please underline that, the social need of the people. How do I mean? I read from the news yesterday that Dangote Refinery will be getting its crude oil, aside from Nigeria, from 3 other continents. And when you look at that, are we saying that the crude oil in Nigeria is not sufficient enough to service that Dangote refinery? That's number one. Number two, because that particular refinery is sited on a free trade zone. Is it going to be buying our crude oil in naira or in dollars? If it's also selling the refined product to Nigeria, is it also going to be selling in naira or in dollars? Because these are the components we are going to look at to be able to know how this will affect our economy. Moving further, I was listening to one analyst on a particular platform, I think yesterday evening. And that person was saying, yes, Dangote Refinery has come to stay in Nigeria. But Dangote Refinery is not promising to crash the prices of petroleum products. I just shook my head. The outcome, how will Dangote Refinery not crash prices of petroleum products? Bearing in mind that while we're talking about subsidy and high prices of petroleum products is because, one, the payment for transportation, that is the cost of freight from wherever we are importing it to Nigeria, the cost of clearing, the demurrage that is always incurred, the cost of storage in all these private tank farms, of which all these costs that has been costing series of humongous amount of money spent on subsidy are now off. So how can you now tell me that it's not going to affect, reduce, or even crash the price of petroleum products? Equally, let us look at this analogy. You are somebody that loves Pandaria, and you decided to plant, to have a yam plantation at the back of your house. But then when the time now comes for you to be making your Pandaria for the family, you are now saying, look, you will use part of the one at your backyard, and then you go to somebody else's farm to go and buy. Of what social importance will that be?
Yeah, just because you're not producing, I believe Dr. Kayode.
Issues that we need to put together.
Yeah, it's because
how this will affect the Nigerian economy and the people in general.
Dr. Kayode, I believe that pounded yam analogy came from the fact that there's a industrial level of crude oil theft, and we're not just producing enough. That's why we're not taking advantage of the high price in crude oil, the global market, due to the Ukraine and Russia conflict. So I guess that's one of the reasons. Now, Dr. Kayode, could you...
No, let me quickly put this across to you. If you have your yam plantation at the back of your house, what concerns you with how much tubers of yam are being sold in the market? Nothing concerns you, because you are the owner of your yam. The only thing is you will not eat, you will not prepare more than your need. Because the problem we have in this country is we have failed to realize that our resources are merely enough for our needs and not for our greed.
Now, Dr. Kayode, could you provide some details on how the Dangote refinery, I know you don't speak for them, you don't work there, but just from your understanding, how does it plan to transform Nigeria into a net exporter of petroleum products? I mean, it's completely opposite. Right now, we're importing petroleum products, and being the largest single train refinery in the world, how would it make us a net exporter? Is it going to produce enough for the domestic markets that we won't need to look outside and there will be excess so we can export? And what are the key strategies or initiatives that will enable this transformation? What will make this refinery a success?
Yes. Now, number one, there's no doubt about it that the capacity of Dangote Refinery cannot be able to satisfy our needs as it concerns petroleum products in this country. That's number one. Number two, if we can do a proper assessment of the litres of petroleum, especially PMS, that we are consuming in this country per day, if you do a proper assessment of it, we know that NNPC that have been telling us how much we consume in a day had not been very, very truthful to us. Why is? Because the number of liters consumed, so also the higher the amount being paid on subsidy. So if we can get properly the amount that we consume in this country, then we'll be able to know the shortfall that we are having after Dangote Refinery. Then two, between you and me, one refinery is not enough for us in this country. And this country is rich enough for at least each state to be having one modular refinery, if not two. We have the resources. But it is a pity that we have been having some leaders that are not being totally responsive to the cries and yearnings of the people. Imagine how much we have spent on subsidy from 1999 to date. Add it up to the amount of money we have spent on turnaround maintenance of the available refinery. Mm-hmm. Put all those money together. There is no state in this nation that will not be having at least 5 modular refineries. Imagine we have that. What do you think will happen? What will happen, what we are going to experience can be likened to when only MTN and Econet were the only telecommunication service providers. And they were saying they cannot give us per second billing, rather per minute billing. But when we started having companies like Glo, especially Glo, they crashed it. And they said, look, we are going to be giving you per second billing. And look at the prices of this our, what do we call it now? The card, the chip.
So competition is a good thing.
It came down from thousands of naira. They're not even begging us with it on the street. So you can see the level of cheat that Nigerians have been experiencing over the years. So if Dangote Refinery can be buying his crude in naira because it's buying from Nigeria and of which is a citizen, and then be selling to us also in naira, and at the same time to a large extent, because there is no shipping cost, no demurrage cost, no clearing cost, no all this storage, independent storage facility cost, they bring down the price of its own. You will see that the prices of petroleum products will come down, and at the end of the day, it will be a better thing, not only for our economy, but for sustainable living, standard of living for our people.
Now, Dr. Kayode, while the Dangote Refinery aims to eliminate Nigeria's fuel shortages and import dependency, what do you think are the potential challenges or obstacles that might prevent it from achieving this goal? A lot of people always talk about the Nigerian factor, and it's so sad that when you say the Nigerian factor, it connotes something negative. So what are the potential obstacles, and how can the Nigerian government support the Dangote group to address these challenges?
Yes, it is only if our government is ready to be sincere with the people. And then, if the people are also ready to take the bulls by the horn and do a lot of study on petroleum prices as it was before Dangote Refinery and how it should be during this era. Comparative analysis in terms of bringing in those variables that has made our government to be paying a large amount of subsidy for this particular sector. That's one. Two, we should also try as much as possible to ensure that all those people that are within the sector that always constitute themselves into encumbrances towards the product, get it to the people cheaply. Government should also see how it can do away with that. Again, NNPC is now a company. It's now NNPC Limited. It should also look at the distribution line. The distribution line that is from the storage tanks to the various stations. To
the consumers.
Various stations. Yes. By providing facilities to get all these products to the end users. I will give you an instance.
Now, Dr. Kayode, do you think...
Let me give you an instance.
Sorry to interrupt you. Sorry to interrupt you, Dr. Kayode. Are we going to have an Apapa-type situation on that corridor? Because the preferred choice of haulage of this refined products are still tankers. So is there anything that is being done by the planners and the stakeholders to avoid that sort of Apapa conundrum and gridlock that we've witnessed over the years with regards to this Dangote refinery, getting the refined products, the final products to the consumers? Does it mean that Nigerians have to suffer from what they've witnessed in Apapa over the years?
Now, that is exactly where I was going to earlier. I will give you this instance. If you go to Mosimi, you will see a government-owned or station there, NNPC station. I think we also have in Ibadan. We have in Apapa, all over the country, almost 22 of them. Almost 22 of them. My brother, you need to find out whether these tank farms are working or not. They have gone moribund. Rather, giving private individuals to be developing their own tank farms. And it's very funny that most of these tank farms are even situated in Lagos here. In Apapa, down to, I think, Kirikiri or so. You know? And that is from where tankers load to various parts of the country. Unlike before, when we're having these various tank farms. And these tank farms, you will see pipe supplying each of those tank farms with petroleum products, whereby those in Ekiti, in Lori and Co. can load from Ondo or in Ore. Those around area 2, Oshogbo and Co. can load from Ibadan. Some can load from Enugu. Some can load from the north and all that like that. But where are they today? They have got moribund. Why? Because of government insensitivity. So, if all these things can be revamped, if they can be revamped, they can be leased. They can be leased up to Dangote Refinery, whereby it can now be pumping his finished products, that is the PMS, to all these tank farms from where tankers to be loaded. And then that one will now reduce again cost of transportation from the tank farms to the end users. So these are issues that needs to be quickly looked into and such infrastructures put in place.
Now, Dr. Kayode, can you discuss the expected? I know you did touch on the matter of pricing, and you're very particular about, you even use the analogy of yam and cassava, the yam behind one's house. Can you discuss the expected impact of the Dangote refinery on fuel prices within Nigeria? You touched on it earlier, but I want you to elaborate on this, because ordinary Nigerians watching this program will be thinking, okay, we're not importing fuel anymore, and the things you listed, we're not paying for demurrage, we're not paying for storage, we're not paying for haulage, and all of these things. It's right in our backyard. So how will it affect the affordability of petroleum products for the general population and various industries?
You can see me beaming some smiles there. Dangote, the president of Dangote Refinery, is a businessman. All right? It's not establishing that particular refinery
for charity.
On charity. No, it's not. Meanwhile, it's also operating within the confines of a political territory. All right? So that is to say, either we like it or not, there's going to be a kind of a collaboration between Dangote, the president, and whoever is in government. Else, it might not be allowed to operate.
No, and of course, the Nigerian government, we also need to remember that the Nigerian government has a 30% stake in the refinery. So they're stakeholders, very important stakeholders in this project.
You see, I will not want to go into the details of that stake of Nigerian government in that particular refinery. Because when that issue happened, some of us came up to say certain things about it. But it's a pity. Nigerians don't like doing their own research when they listen to some of us on various platforms. All right? So let us leave Nigeria's interest in that place by the side. But the issue is this. Either we like it or not, there is going to be a working collaboration between Dangote Refinery and whichever government is in place. And he has to dance to the undertune, which is not going to be open to the two of us of the government, or else encumbrances will be put in there for him not to operate. You remember what happened to Chagori and Chagori the other time? Chagori and Chagori was doing fine in their businesses in this country. But along the line, the government said, look, you got to pack your packs and packages. And what happened? We also remember what happened to was it not Kalu's airline, Nigeria here, that he has to pack the whole thing to another country to be flying another country. So between you and me, for Nigerians to enjoy the economies of scale of this particular refinery, Nigerians must stand on their toes and watch themselves and watch their back as regards government delivering dividends of democracy to the people. Because part of the dividends of democracy to the people is some of the social amenities. How can we be saying that the prices of petroleum products abroad will be affecting us in Nigeria when we have our children God-given resources, and then we are supposed to have our refineries? What concerns me? I like panel yam. I have my yam plantation at the back of my house. What concerns me with how much they are selling tubers of yam in the market? This is just a simple analogy that the ordinary viewer can really understand. And not until when we hold on to this, like I always tell people, until when the people realizes that a particular government is shortchanging them, and they decide to free themselves from such suffering, honestly speaking, what they are experiencing with what will you be experiencing?
Now, Dr. Kayode,
it is only you that can stop you from being a success.
I mean, it might sound like a very simple analogy, but that's basically the economics of it. If you're producing a certain product, then why are you concerned with the global price of it? What's your business outside it? You should be able to provide. I can tell you the economics of it.
Yes. I can also come with the economics of it.
Now, Dr. Kayode, before we proceed on a quick timeout, beyond crashing off the price of petroleum products in Nigeria, can you elaborate on the potential economic benefits that the Dangote refinery could bring to Nigeria? How might it contribute to job creation, GDP growth, and overall economic development? And what do we need to do
Sorry,
to maximize these positives? Yes.
Can you come again, please?
I said beyond the reduction of the price of petroleum products, can you elaborate on the potential economic benefits that this refinery could bring to Nigeria? How might it contribute to job creation, GDP growth, and the overall economic development? And what do we need to do to maximize the full positive potential of this?
Yes, you see, no doubt about it, Dangote Refinery is going to provide employment for Nigerians. And when it's providing employment for Nigerians, that means it's taking some people out of poverty level. And not only those that are being employed alone, we also have to look at the multiplier effect on the whole populace. Like, for instance, if a single individual from a family of 5 is working there and is earning his wages, definitely it will affect the economy of that family, not only the economy of Nigeria. That is one. 2, also, with the commencement of operation of this particular refinery, you're going to also see that some other industries will be coming up. Like, I've been asking questions from our federal government, that our crude oil that you normally take abroad to refine, where are the other derivatives from such refining? Because when you crack the crude oil, there are some other products that is going to come out from it. Where are those products? What have you been doing with them over the years? Now, since Dangote Refinery is now here, those byproducts will also be here, and those byproducts, as they are here, can also be used to kickstart some other industries. For instance, fertilizer, some other plastic industry, petrochemical industries, all right? And all these ones too will also generate employment for Nigerians and generating income to improve Nigerian economy.